Yeah, let's do this one.
What can we do? Any ideas? We want to find h. We know that's 10. That's all we know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Anybody have any ideas? Okay, no worries. Well, I know that, and I also know, don't I know that angle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is it?
120.
It is. It's 120 degrees. Does anybody not know why it's 120 degrees? It's okay if you don't, just tell me. It's geometry, it's not trigonometry. Everybody knows? Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so now I have 40 plus 120 is 160. So I also know this angle, don't I?
Yeah, it's
20
20.
degrees. Exactly. That's 20 degrees. So I can actually find one of those sides. What side do you think I'd like to find? What do you think would be the easiest to find
Be
so that
the
we can
hy-
find h? Hmm?
be the hypotenuse of the triangle A.
Um, well, then I'd have to find this. I'd have to find something from the sides, wouldn't I? If I'm assuming you're talking about this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you, you can do that. It's just going to be extra work, and I'll tell you why. Because let's go back. Let's say I have this. Well, I want to find this, right? And I know this, but that's all I know. I know, so this would be known. Okay, this is known, but that's all that's known at that point. Isn't that true? So I probably have to come over here and find this. So that now I have at least one side of a triangle. Because right now I have no idea what any of the sides of the B triangle is. And I don't know this length either. I don't know that side. And I don't, like, there's a lot I don't know on that triangle. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But if, and I'm just telling you how to think about things, this is how I would do it. I would actually find this side. And then once I have that side, I have a nice right triangle with a 60-degree angle. And if I know the hypotenuse of that triangle, I can just use one of my trig functions to find h, can't I?
So how do you go about finding that first side?
Ah, that's a great question. But do you all understand like the thought process behind it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and use this triangle because I know a lot about this triangle. I first know it's not a right triangle. Since it's not a right triangle, what should I think about?
Turn it into a right triangle
No.
is what I was thinking.
Yeah, we have something that we can use that we learn about that applies to non-right triangles. Does anybody remember?
It's coming to me, but I forgot the formula.
No worries.
The law of signs, right?
Yeah,
Law
no,
of
sorry.
science. Or if
Or
you don't
co
have enough, if you don't have the right information of that, the law of cosines.
Yeah.
But we do have the right information. Here, let me just write it normal. Law of sines, law of cosines. Law of sines says sine of A over A equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C, right? So And we always label the sides opposite the what we're using. So if I call that A, then this is A, because that's opposite. If I call that B, then this is B. And I'm gonna have to call this C, and then C, that's C right there. Let me write it. This equals C. Do y'all agree so far?
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I want to find?
You want to find A?
A.
I want to find A. See why I wanted to figure out what I wanted to find first, so I don't have to find a lot of different things. So I would say here that the sine of A over A, and then what am I going to set it equal to?
C.
C.
C, because I have a value here for C. So I would say the sine of C over C. Well, sine of A is 40 degrees, sine of 40 degrees over what I'm trying to find. And sine of C, well, that's 20 degrees over 10. This is perfect because I can find A. Now, if I didn't have a calculator, which I don't right now, I can, do you want me to do all the algebra? Is everybody okay with the algebra? I'll write the answer. You tell me if you're okay with the algebra. If not, I'll go through all the algebra. So does everybody get that, or you want me to go a little more slowly?
I
Yeah.
got it.
I can just do it real quick. I multiply both sides by 10. That cancels that. I multiply both sides by A. That cancels that. And then I divide both sides by the sine of 20 degrees. Okay. And then I would have A, this would cancel with this. So on this side, I would have A, and I would have 10 sine of 40 over sine of 20. Just to quickly show you the algebra. If anybody needs more algebra help, just let me know. So if I didn't have a calculator, that's my answer. But I do have a calculator. Okay. Let me just find the answer. Let me just find the problem here. So do you want me to get the answer off the calculator? They didn't give the answer on this answer sheet. Well, I don't think. No, they just used it. They actually just used it, which if you want, we can do it without a calculator. Would you like to do this without a calculator?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We
All
have
right,
to.
and I will not pull out a calculator. Did it say, were the directions not to use a calculator in the worksheet? I don't think so, because a lot of the
On our
answers.
exam, we can't.
On the exam, you cannot. That's true. So now I know what A is. Okay. Now I have another triangle. This is 60 degrees. A, which is this, I'll just write A, okay? What do I know? I'm trying to find H, the height.
You can fill in the rest of the angles.
I don't need to. I could, but I don't need to.
You find a sine?
I could find the sine. So the sine of 60 degrees is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Yes?
Yes.
So H is equal to A sine of 60 degrees. Well, we know what the sine of 60 degrees is, don't we?
Radical 3/2.
Yep. Square root of 3/2. And so without a calculator, I know H is equal to 5. So I'll write it all out first. 10 sine 40 over sine 20. That's A times the square root of 3 over 2. See if I have any more space down here. Oh, I have a little tiny bit. I can use this. So I have H is equal to 10 over 2 is 5 times the square root of 3 times the sine of 40 degrees over the sine of 20 degrees. And that is the answer. I can't do any more without a calculator. That's a very acceptable answer. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. And that's as far as you can go. Now with a calculator, so this is the answer without a calculator. With a calculator, I have an answer here. 16.276 degrees.